Hey everybody, I hope you had a great weekend. I'm out filming the Q&A today, and instead of just sitting down and answering the questions one by one, I thought I would go out hiking and hopefully find some cool creatures for you guys to see while I answer questions. So we're gonna go out right now. Let's go. Since I'll be using this as an intro video, I'll do a quick introduction about myself. My name's Stefano Yaniro. I'm a wildlife and environment field technician, which is just a fancy way of saying I work out in the field with a lot of different animals and help with a lot of different wildlife research. So that's my day-to-day. And I also do a lot of photography, trying to raise awareness, stuff like that. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I've been doing that for a while. I'm just starting out on YouTube, so hopefully you guys enjoy these videos. Okay, so let's get started with a few questions. First off, from Instagram, Avian asks, where are you from and where do you live? So I live in Montreal. I'm from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Recently, I've been splitting time between Montreal and Belize in Central America. Over on Facebook, Jacques Talliard asks, why have you decided on your specific niche? It's a pretty childish answer. I loved dinosaurs growing up and birds were the next best thing. So I really dove into it once I got into bird watching. Over on YouTube, Stormblessed asked, what binoculars do you use? So here's my issue with binoculars. What I usually do is I'll have my binoculars and my camera in the field. And I'm extremely cautious with my camera, so for my binoculars, I don't want something expensive. I throw them around all the time. I don't even know the model. I think most of the branding and everything got scratched off because I've used them for so long, and I'm really rough with them. So I believe it's a Burris Landmark model. I don't know which one. I can put a photo up if I end up finding it, but yeah, I'm just way too rough with the binoculars. I need to focus on the camera. It doesn't merit me going out and buying a $500 or $600 pair of binoculars because I'm pretty sure that I'll end up breaking them. Over on Instagram, Swabian Wildlife asked, what is your favorite lens? I think if I had to choose only one lens to use for the rest of my life, it would probably be the 150 to 600 contemporary lens from Sigma. That Sigma lens was and still is my favorite lens. If I was using a 75 to 300 millimeter lens, and it's, you know, after a while you need more reach, and the 600 millimeters was absolutely fantastic. For the price, I was extremely happy with the image quality, and I've been using it for the past 2 years, and I don't think I would really trade it out for anything, especially if you're doing a lot of hiking or traveling. You can get some great photos out of it. It's honestly a very good lens. I think one day I'm gonna have to do a fungi episode. This is just unreal. Look at these mushrooms. I don't know if you can actually tell how big they are. I'll put my camera next to it and I'll take a photo and I'll show you guys just how immense these mushrooms are. This is crazy. Over on Instagram, Papa Rome's Productions asked, who do you look up to? I think as photographers and videographers, you want to draw inspiration from a few different people. But for me, the one person who really motivated me to start wildlife photography was Joel Sartore from Nat Geo. He does the Photo Arc project, so you should really go check that out. It's an amazing project. He's been going on for, I think, over 25 years now. And thank you. I don't know if you would ever see this, but thank you because you really motivated me to start photography. Personal Nap asks, what advice would you give to your younger self with all the knowledge you acquired to date? So I think once you leave high school, it could be a little bit difficult to know exactly what you want to do. You're still young, and for me, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to do basically what I'm doing right now, but I was kind of scared to go for it, and I started listening to other people, and they were giving me advice of what path I should take, and I tried a bunch of different other programs, and in the end, it brought me back to here. So if I had to tell myself one thing, it would probably be just go for it. It's easy to be scared to chase your dreams, but you just really have to do it. You have to go out. Life is really short. With that being said, I'm also kind of happy that I was able to try other things before I landed on this, just because I knew for a fact that once I tried those other things, I was like, okay, this is 100% what I want to do. I think that's really important. It kind of molds you as a person, and it really motivates you to go out and do the thing that you actually love. So that's what I would suggest to everybody. Juliet Fernanda Mayorga asks, where is your inspiration found? Just going out in nature, that's where my inspiration's found. I mean, you'll go out and you'll see a new moth you've never seen, you'll see a new bird, and for me that really motivates me. You know, some people get an adrenaline rush from driving a car really fast or jumping off a tall building. For me, I get an adrenaline rush from seeing a new species, something I've never seen before. So every time I go out in nature, I'm always reinvigorated and super excited to get out the next time. I get a lot of inspiration too from the jungle. I mean, the jungle is just so unexplored, and you can stand in one place, and the more you look, the more you check under rocks and debris, the more you find, and it just makes you feel kind of like a kid where you're exploring new land. If you've never explored anything similar to it, I really encourage you, because it's going to be an amazing experience, unless you don't like spiders. This one really made me laugh. Over on Facebook, Eric LaVictoire asks, what's your favorite falcon and why is it the peregrine? It's hard to argue that. You can't not like the peregrine falcon. It's the fastest bird on earth. It's just epic. You can't battle it. I think if I'm not back home in North America and I'm here in the tropics, I would probably have to say the bat falcon would be my next favorite. Yeah, it's hard to beat the peregrine falcon. Pros and cons to being in the jungle. I'm stuck under the dense canopy. So luckily there's a dense canopy in the jungle, but sadly it's absolutely pouring rain right now. That was not fun. That was really not fun. The wind picked up. Some of my gear's pretty wet. I'm drying it off now, but oh man, that was intense. I got under Palapa just in time. All right, we'll have to continue this under the Palapa because it's been raining quite a bit. It's slowing down a bit now, so I might actually go out to film some of these other questions, but for now we'll do a few here. Over on Instagram, GreenRay10 asks, when did you find your passion? So when I was growing up, we were actually fortunate enough to have a forest really close to our house. So I would go out every day and I would try to catch, you know, like snakes, insects, anything I could get my hands on. And that really kind of helped push me towards wildlife, and I really started to appreciate wildlife from a young age. I also watched Zaboomafoo, which is one of the greatest shows. If you don't know it, you should really watch it. So both those things motivated me to go out and actually learn more about wildlife. Instagram, also know, asks, how did you end up working in Belize? And why did you start a YouTube channel? So I first came to Belize to complete an internship for my school program. I really had no prior knowledge to anything about Belize, so coming here was completely new for me. I think it's really easy to fall in love with this place, and that's why I've been coming back for the last 2 years. I can be in a jungle 1 minute and then 30 minutes later I can be on a beach, so it's a really small country, easy to travel around, and you can really see a lot in 1 week, let alone if you're staying for a month or two. So if you guys haven't been, definitely look into it if it's something that you're interested in. And for the second question, why did I start this YouTube channel? I just really enjoyed the video creating process, and for me I think it's a little bit more interesting and fun than photography. I'm just getting into it now and it's really exciting. I also enjoy the YouTube community quite a bit. I think there's a lot to learn from everybody here. So when I started thinking that I wanted to get more into video, it was a no-brainer that I would come and do videos on YouTube. On Facebook, Kita Roke asks, what is your best advice for getting a good picture of a skittish animal? So this comes back down to, I think, basic wildlife photography is if you're learning the behavior of the animal, it's way easier to get photos of it because you kind of know what it's going to do before it does it. One thing I really like photographing actually is hummingbirds in the rain. And hummingbirds are extremely skittish. They like to move around a lot, really fast obviously. What I do is I can kind of tell right before they're about to shake their feathers. They'll kind of move their feet up and down a little bit and then they'll start shaking, and right before that happens, that's when I take the photo. And that's just because that I've seen a lot of hummingbirds, I've watched them quite a bit, and I've kind of learned a bit of their behavior. So you can apply this to any other animal, just kind of learn what it does, why it does it. And also probably the most important part about wildlife photography is be patient. Even if you do all your homework and you know everything you need to know about the animal and you know where they live and everything, there's never a guarantee that you're actually going to get the shot. So be persistent, be patient. There's just some animals you're going to be chasing for the rest of your life, and that's a good thing. Keeps you motivated, keeps you going out for more. Don't be too discouraged if you can't get the shot you want. Just keep going out and eventually it'll happen. On Instagram, Totes Andrew asks, what's your holy grail bird? The one that you'd love to catch a photo of. Think if I could get one photo of a bird, it would probably be the kakapo. That would probably be #1 on my hit list. Okay, so for the last question, one that I get all the time on all the different platforms is which degrees or schooling do you need to do what you do? So if you're looking to do something similar to what I do, I don't think you necessarily need to go down the exact same path. There's a lot of different ways to actually get there. Say for example, you want to do something like bird banding. You don't necessarily need a degree for it. What you need is actually a lot of experience, and you need to get certifications and stuff like that. So what I got my degree in was environmental and wildlife technology. So if you look up field technician degrees, that's basically what it would be under. Although that's one option, there's so many other routes to go. One thing that I would suggest doing is just evaluate what your skills are. A lot of these field stations need help in a lot of different areas. So say for example, in my case, if I didn't do my degree in environmental and wildlife technology, what I could do is essentially contact other field stations and say, hey, listen, I do photos, I do videos, I can help you with your social media. You know, I'd love to come down and work with you guys for a bit and see how it goes. And a lot of these places would actually accept something like that. So if you're good at writing, you're good at community development, anything like that, just think of your skills and think of how it would be useful to a field station and just contact them. Start with maybe a short volunteership and really put in the extra work just to really wow them. And I think if you do that, there's a good chance that they'll keep you on. So you can start with, you know, writing blogs for them or creating videos and photos. And little by little, you're going out with them into the field and you're learning different things. You can actually pick up quite a bit of experience this way. Field stations have so many different layers that you need to tend to. If you can have a couple of those skills, it could be really helpful. That's what I'm saying. You don't necessarily need an environmental degree to do what I'm doing. Just basically find what you're good at and put yourself out there, contact some places that you'd like to go to, and I think you can actually get some really good success with that. If I didn't have my degree, that's 100% what I would be doing, is I would just kind of create a little portfolio of my different skill sets and I would just send it out to different places. I hope you enjoyed my first Q&A. There were some really good questions in there. Thanks for sending them in if you did. I'll probably do more of these down the line, but for now this should be a pretty good starting point. I also forgot to tell you guys, one of my photos ended up in the fall 2018 edition of Audubon magazine. I got contacted a while ago about using my photos, and I actually thought it was for the regional Belizean Audubon, but my friend sent me a picture the other day and it was actually for the National Audubon Society, so very excited. That's the first time that's happened. And this Saturday, October 6th, is actually Global Big Day, so go out and observe some birds. I want to hear what you guys actually saw or photographed. The last time we did a big day here, we got 116 species on the property, so that's the record that we're trying to beat. Oh man, so many good things happening. Okay, for the last time, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.